Perhaps, Monique, just outlay for us where you are, what you're seeing and what you're hearing.
Yes, as you rightly mentioned, when we were at the R300 about an hour ago, we saw that gentleman being detained by law enforcement officers, by Metro Police, and his car that he'd been driving in, one of the officers got in and also drove the car to whatever destination they are going to. It's most likely that they were taking the suspect and the occupants in the car to the nearest police station, where they will most likely be processed by SAPS. Where I am at the moment is on the N7. Here in the city of Cape Town, there are about five of these lockdown roadblocks. This is one of the last ones. We've been to the N1, N2, M5, R300, and here on the N7, it's a vastly different picture than the one we saw at the R300, where it was very busy. We saw numerous cars. We saw many people not complying with the lockdown regulations, being told to pull over on the side of the road. Here we see a quieter road. We've heard from officers on the ground. It's mainly trucks that pass through here, mainly essential workers who pass through here, and they found that the people living in the surrounding areas seem to be complying with those lockdown rules of only driving for essential reasons. But some of the officers on the ground have said that just wait for the truck to pass. They have said that the problems they have found, it mainly lies in the surrounding informal settlements and townships of Joe Slovo and Dunoon, where people are not adhering to those lockdown regulations, where people are still out and about, and that is also where law enforcement are conducting door-to-door operations to ensure that people remain safe and remain indoors.
Now, yesterday, Monique, our colleague Ronald, also taking a look at the situation on the roads there in Cape Town. He was in the CBD, and police expressing concern in terms of people who were leaving for the Easter holidays. More than 400 vehicles leaving Cape Town there. But of course, it was people in public transport using back roads as well in terms of the drivers. What are you hearing in terms of people who are coming back from the Eastern Cape? Are authorities confirming anything where that is concerned?
It's actually been very funny. We've been to all of these different roadblocks since this morning, and we have yet to find one taxi from the Eastern Cape, one long distance taxi being stopped at these roadblocks or even passing through. And it's a phenomenon that was expressed by the different officers at the roadblocks. They say they're not expecting the taxis to come through now because they are managing to find those back roads to evade these major roadblocks. And this is something we also spoke to Western Cape Transport MEC Bongi Nkosi Madigizela about when we spoke to him earlier this morning at the N2 on the roadblock, and this is what he had to say.
The responsibility to issue the permits, was given to SAPS and to the magistrate courts. And from what the provincial commissioner said, that of course they are still investigating, it appears as if there are people who might have abused the system, of course working with some of the people within the SAPS, and that investigation is currently underway.
Now, Monique, in the beginning, we mentioned a man who's been arrested for having a stash of cigarettes in his car. Perhaps a reminder for somebody who's just tuning in as to what he said or where he was taking these cigarettes to. We know that's not allowed.
What we know is, as we started our crossing a little earlier, we noticed the gentleman being pulled over. He had been pulled over along with several other vehicles who were either driving without permits or contravening traffic bylaws in some or other way. We saw some people being pulled over for either having their license disc expired, faulty tires, whatever the case might be. This gentleman was pulled over. He had several occupants in the vehicle, and he was asked if he can open his boot so that police can search it, as they've been doing with other vehicles that they've also pulled over. And it was then that they discovered all sorts of goods, from chips and sweets and amazi to other products. And when they did further inspection and asking the gentleman what is this for and so on, it seems as if officers weren't too happy with his answer. They then got the K9 unit to come in and sniff through the goods, and they then made the discovery of what we saw, about 2 or 3 bags, dozens of cigarette boxes. We also saw what looked like 2 boxes of tobacco products that they then also confiscated and placed in the boot. They then detained the officer, and they also told the occupants to get out of the car, and they also searched the occupants. It doesn't seem as if they found anything on the occupants, because it was only the driver that was detained.
Monique Mortlock in Cape Town for us. Thank you very much.